Hello there, and welcome to this meta show. I'm going to split up the meta show into being a pre-recorded format like this, and then we'll do a list review show, typically the same day that I'm putting out the meta video. But I'll do that live so people can chat, and I'll do list reviews. And if you want to email me in a list for me to talk about, then I can share my thoughts. I've just noticed I've got a small hole right in the middle of my hand. Stigmata. Anyway, my name's Dan. I'm a bit of a Warhammer nerd, but also not very good at the old world, as we shall find out in a little bit. That's unfair. Anyway, cool. So this chart shows the popularity. This is pretty stable. This is pretty much what it looks like, every time. We'll start to do some data over time series in a bit, but it's just organising myself to be able to. It's getting it so it looks understandable, because you can put loads of lines on a chart, but it doesn't really help you understand it. Anyway, this is all available on the website, so you can just go and have a look whenever you like. It's still on Wix because I'm a tight arse, and I've already paid for the bloody Wix thing for a business that I don't. Well, that I do, but I don't need the website anymore. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But so I've got I've paid for 3 years of Wix hosting and whatever service, not hosting, Wix premium service. But then I cancelled another one, and they kept charging me for the bloody emails, despite the fact that I can't, because when you cancel the website, it doesn't auto cancel the emails associated with it, which is really annoying. So anyway, I think the emails were paid in May, and the website, April, and the website was due to finish in May. So I literally paid for a month of emails for the whole year. So it was like, and they wouldn't refund it because they're, a company. Anyway, that's me waffling on. Rank percentile. I'll put these in the wrong order. Oh God, where's win percentage? Here we go. Win percentage. So this is a box and whiskers plot. What that means is where the bar extends to is the win percentage of the faction, and then the red whiskers, as it were, if you sort of put your head on your side, you can see it's got like two little whiskers, and the whiskers essentially extend to what the normal range of results is at a tournament. So it's pretty normal for a Tomb King player, say at a 5-game tournament, to get either 2 wins, 3 wins, or even 4 wins. So if you're a Tomb Kings and you're getting 4 wins at a tournament, you're achieving what is within normal for Tomb Kings at the moment. Same picture for Beastmen. Kingdom of Bretonnia have come down a bit. I've just had a thought. Have I just done June? Sorry, I'm just recording this and I just thought I'd check. Have I just done June? No, that's good. Right. So we've got win percentage like that. And then it was supposed to be win percentage over time next. So this shows you essentially what factions have been doing. So as we can see here, with the Tomb Kings are win percentages at the top. This is just getting better. So these were obviously one of the factions at launch, but they didn't get their arcane. Did they get their arcane journal at launch? They may well have done, actually, or maybe it was a couple of weeks later. I can't remember. But anyway, they've been gradually improving. And what this shows is when people start to understand the army and start to get to grips with how it plays and start to work out what's good. And the models become available, then you'll see factions rising just naturally. So Kingdom of Britannia, was no surprise here that they're at the bottom. They had a really good April, kind of did quite poorly in May, but then have recovered back to where they were. So it's a bit choppy. Chaos Dwarves, again, doing quite well. Win percentages in general seem to have dropped in May, don't they? Apart from who did well in May. Lizardman got a bit of a bump in May. No, win percentages. There was obviously a lot of tournaments in May where there were where there were draws that were possible rather than a win-loss scenario. Oh, I need to control for that, don't I? I should have done points over time, because with points, I sort of it calculates. Um, I need to do some kind of stats where it's like wins versus losses to kind of strip out the effect of it. Anyway, but this shows you the win percentage over time. Stuff like vampire counts have been riding high, but they're starting to tail off, which is quite interesting. So people are starting to take more fluffy lists, as it were. And just because a faction's doing badly, as we shall see when we later on get to the world exclusive player rankings, which is based on a really bad formula that I'm definitely going to change. But I'll talk about that when we get to it. So anyway, just because you're in a bad faction doesn't mean you can't do well with that faction. Empire, being the point in case here, about 35% win percentage. They started off okay at 40 and they've just been tailing off over time. And I guess that's probably because players who want to play with Empire kind of guess that, they can't do what they want to. What you tend to find is when people do badly at tournaments, they switch to something else. Like if they do repetitively badly at tournaments, I think people kind of inherently realise that they perhaps, sorry, this little hole in my hand is really irritating me, that they perhaps haven't got the right mindset to be competitive with this particular faction. So sometimes, I've done it before, where you put an army on the table that you absolutely love, and you're so precious about not wanting anything to die because you you feel connected to it, that you actually just play really defensively and really super badly with them. So which does happen. Humans are human and do humaning. High Elf Realms started okay. I guess April was where we had a bit of a dragon meta bump as well. And May started to see quite a lot of dragons still, but other stuff come into play. So, High Elves did well in the dragon meta, but now they're starting to tail off. Now, when I say tail off, realistically, you want all the lines in between this 40 to 50% band. That's kind of where you want everybody. These three are too high. Tomb Kings have been consistently too high. In fact, since day one, Tomb Kings have never come below 50% win. The reason 50% win rate's kind of like quite high in and of itself is because draws exist. So, you are going to occasionally not win a game. So, and this is over all faction player data. It is possible as an individual to win all your games, but across all the players all the time, it's not possible for everybody playing Tomb Kings to win every single game, right? Or to never draw a game. So anyway, these are at the bottom. That's win percentage over time. Rank percentile. This is based on, the first concept here is the rank percentile. So what is this a percentage of? It's a percentage of basically your progress or your finishing position in a tournament from being first to last. So 50%, 50th percentile would be essentially finishing in a position that's absolutely bang on the middle. So not 5 out of 10, but you'd out of 11, because then there's 5 either side, and the rank in the middle would be 6. So if you're 6th out of 11, you would get a 50th percentile result. If you were 5th out of 10, it would be like 44.5, 45.1, 44.4 recurring maybe. I can't do the maths on the top of my head. 0% being last, 100% being first. So, finishing in the top half of the table is what pretty much all of these factions, are doing at the moment, Orc and Goblin upwards. Again, we've got the normal results here. So where normal players finish. Vampire count showing a bit more variability than other factions, it seems. Actually, Demons of Chaos showing similar variability, just not as similar win percentage. Skaven, if you're getting in the top half of the table, it is normal for them to do that, but not by much. So certainly if you're getting in the top quarter of players as a Skaven player, you're outperforming the meta substantially. So that's your rank percentile. This is ordered as per win percentage, so the point of that was to sort of show whether there were any anomalies. Dwarves actually used to be much better in terms of win percentage, but their win percentages dropped off a cliff. So they were kind of here, and there was pretty much a you know, a really interesting kind of dynamic going on statistically. However, they have fallen down now. You know, and in fact, their rank percentile is still lower than Lizardmen, despite having a better win percentage, which is interesting. But these factions down here, from sort of these factions are struggling, right? Let's not put too fine a point on it, as we shall see when we come to the penultimate chart. So this chart is what I call all or nothing. Essentially, these percentages are out of people who entered tournament, what percentage of players have got 0 wins and what percentage of players have won all their games. So, for instance, 8% of Tomb Kings of Khemri players who went to tournaments have lost all their games, and 13% have won all their games. And then put it on this chart, and this shows which faction. It's just a bit interesting, just to sort of show the extreme results that some players get, because we've looked at what's normal, so let's look at what's in those extremes. So here it is basically, and that's how that kind of shapes up and balances. You know, obviously Skaven, only 9% of entrants have managed to win all their games. Nearly 40%, have hold on. Nearly 40% have lost all their games, which is really, really bad. Cool. So, this. And then, is this penultimately? No, this is finally on this bit. This is essentially my team ranking. It's based on a composite of data, so it's just to give a bit of an idea of how the factions are doing in terms of tournament results, win percentages, popularity. It's a composite of all those sorts of things. So, at the moment, totally out of all the data, we've got 4 S-tier factions: Bretonnia, Beastmen, Warriors of Chaos, and Tomb Kings. These are all doing very, very well. High Elf Realms are slightly behind. That's wrong. I don't know why it's not uploaded the right one. I'll have to sort that out. Here we go. Let's just have a look at this. This is the actual data. I'm sure that was wrong. So yeah, totally cumulatively, we've actually got 5 factions that are doing well at tournaments. So Warriors of Chaos, Chaos Dwarves, Kingdom of Britannia, Beastmen, Greyherds, Tomb Kings. All of these doing very well. Chaos Dwarves being an unsupported faction. It's really interesting that they're up there. I've not changed the titles. Oh, I've not done a very good job with this at all, have I? Absolutely bloody useless. I'm sure I uploaded it though. Oh well. So last month, actually, Beastmen still doing very well, but just not as well as they have been previously over the last month in June. Over the last quarter, these 5 are pretty solid. Interestingly, High Elf Realms, again, this goes back to the win percentage data we said earlier, was doing quite well. Is doing quite well over the overall data. However, last month was pretty not so good. Interestingly, over the last quarter, so we saw over the last quarter, we've seen vampire counts getting up to S tier. They've been getting some really good results in tournaments. Cumulatively, including the previous quarter, so January through March, not doing so well, and actually June not doing so well. So actually, it's more been a kind of April, May. They did quite well. Actually, last month in June, not quite so good for the old vampire counts. Over all data, so what we're just seeing is more people taking more fluffy lists and not doing quite so well with them. Any other interesting changes here? Dark Elves having quite a good month for them. Over the quarter, though, quite bad. So that would suggest that sort of April, May, they're not doing very well. They're having a bit of a surge at the moment, so they're starting to post some better results, which is interesting. In terms of tournament placings and so on and so forth. Dwarven Mountain Holds just have got worse and worse and worse, and now they were in June bottom tier. Then that doesn't bring them into the bottom tier like overall. However, they're getting quite close. Empire and Skaven though, solid bottom tier faction. Ogres had a decent-ish quarter for them, but a really bad June again. So they're staying there. High Elf Realms have dropped. Interestingly, Warriors of Chaos. Maybe people have worked out how to deal with them because they only got they didn't do, in terms of overall results, they didn't do quite so well last month. So maybe Chaos players are taking more interesting lists. Maybe people who don't know how to use them are getting into them. It's really interesting to see that they're down there. Anyway, let's finally turn to the player rankings. Now, I've done a composite sort of score here of essentially it takes your best 4 tournament results and then gives you a better score based on the number of games that you've played. So if you've been to 4 tournaments, they're all 5-game tournaments, that would be 20 games, and that will give you more of a weighting in terms of your win percentage and ranking and all that kind of stuff. So it's a bit of a composite. It's not a composite of these 3. Pivot charts are weird. You have to add a calculated column and then do a formula in the column calculation, and just hope it works when you press enter, because there's no validation or anything. Anyway, so that's Jack Allen is top. So at the moment, Jack Allen is the according to and again, I will change the formula because I'm not happy with it, but still we'll tinker. At the moment, I think the Jack Allen is the best Warhammer the Old World player in the world. And he's taken Empire, and that's really impressive. I mean, the 62% win percentage is pretty good anyway. He's managed 18 games out of his top 4 tournaments. And you can ignore that column. Actually, I don't think we even need that. Let's get rid of that. Oh, hold on. Do I need to get rid of that? Do I just do that? Yeah, that's not affected that either. Good, I didn't break something whilst making it look a bit better. So he's got 18 games out of his top 4 tournaments, which means 3 5-game tournaments and 1 3-game tournament, doesn't it? So he's getting close to managing 4 GTs, which would explain his score being quite a bit higher because, like I said, number of games does add to the weighting. So, but well done, Jack. That's 7 days of tournamenting, and Brandon coming in second with his 4 days of tournamenting. So it's more days. So I'm just reflecting essentially the time investment. Brandon coming in second though with a very strong 75% win rate with Team Kings of Kenry over his 4 tournaments. So that's pretty good. Quite impressive. Again, it's not outside normal for Team Kings though. I mean, that's the main thing. If you look at like players who've taken a faction a lot and look at averages and so on and so forth, Brandon, then even the top players won't have a cumulative win percentage outside of the normal, or probably don't have, because then third is Luna Valentine with a 100% win rate with Kingdom of Bretonnia so far. So that's 11 games, all 11 won. That's very impressive. That's very, very impressive. So, but if Luna had gone to one more tournament, I think in the last 6 months, then what I'm going to do actually, and this is what I mean about the correcting the formula, is I want it to include all the players' results, but I need to add in a factor that degrades the results over time. So like it says if a tournament happened yesterday, that gets more of a weighting than a tournament that happened 3 years ago. Obviously, the tournament 3 years ago I think should contribute to the score. However, much less so. Like maybe 2 or 3% of whatever, something like that. So it just degrades over time. So maybe results are worth 50% in a year, and then maybe 25% in 2 years, and so on and so forth. Something like that. I need to work out a formula. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do. So it's not just the top four tournaments. Danny Stewart gets the Journeyman Award, I think, for taking most different number of factions. That was going to be me, but I haven't been to enough tournaments. But anyway, so Danny's taken Ogres a couple of times, got a 67% win rate. That's really impressive with Ogres. Skaven, Danny's one of the few players to manage 100%. It was a quick and dirty 3-game tournament towards the start of the meta, but he did it. So well done, Danny. That's an excellent result. And then Wood Elves, he struggled with a little bit at a tournament. So anyway, he comes in 4th. Phil Carl comes in 5th with a pretty solid 93% win rate with Tomb Kings. Again, three games. I'd love to see Phil play Luna. That would be an amazing setup, wouldn't it? I don't know where they both are actually, but if they're both in the UK and they fancy me recording a game, I would just get in touch. God damn it, I'm here for that. John Dale again, another Tomb King player. Like out of the top 10 players, there's quite a lot of Tomb Kings, isn't there? Which maybe it's just because the better players are going for Tomb Kings, and that can affect the meta as well. So just got to be a bit careful when trying to draw conclusions as to what the data is telling us. Then Jerry Parsley again has an 90% win rate with his Tomb Kings, and he did take Dark Elves to a tournament, managing to win 2 out of 3 games with Dark Elves. Again, that's not easy. So well done, Jerry, who comes in, where are we, 5th, 6th, 7th in the world. Matt Howley, 8th, who's managed to take Chaos Dwarves and get a 67% win rate, which is pretty average for them, but Orc and Goblins are the guys that have dragged him up. Then we've got Mark Wildman with his Beastman. Lovely army. Really, really nice army. He's got there. It's so the basing, like I think he had to remortgage his house to buy like full resin basing for the whole thing. Like, but it's gorgeous. Then we've got Brett Gutterson coming in whatever position it is now, 10th, with two tournaments he's entered with Tomb Kings, managing to win 4 out of 6 games, which is okay, but then a very good result at a 5-game tournament with Vampire Counts, I think tips him onto 10th. And there are loads of people on this list. Like, this has sort of picked out all the player names. So if you've sort of traded under various player names, then your fault. I might have maybe, and this is why I'm not massively happy with this formula, I might have maybe like added the or given too much of a weighting to numbers of games played. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to fix this over time. This is just like, I suppose, a draft player ranking. Basically, though, what I want to reflect is just people going to tournaments and doing well. And then this tells you, what everybody is. And me, I am like way down. I'm like row 260 something. I was just below Val. Yeah, I noticed Val last time. So Val Heffelfinger. There we go. Apparently 2 tournaments. I thought he'd done more than that, but maybe he put his name down as something else. Keep your name the same. Would be my tip. Abaid there with 2 tournaments. 30% win rate with High Elves. That surprises me because he was a very good player. Like, he absolutely knew what he was doing, and he had a really good list. He must just be getting... I mean, to be fair, he did get quite unlucky against me. Like, he had, like, one moment of really bad luck, and that's basically what lost him the game. But, wow. Yeah, I think we both played a really... Anyway, I'm waffling on now. But we both played a very good game, and I think I just got, like, a crucial bit of luck at what... Well, he got a crucially bad bit of luck at one point, and that's what let me beat him. Yeah, here I am. I don't know what position that is because obviously it's listing like all the. Oh, do you know what? I can just get rid of that, can't I? Oh no, not that. Where do you? Ah, there we go. Oh, that's much better, isn't it? Well, it's not because I can't see the things. Where am I? I will put this so Abaid would be 149th in the world, and I'm 151st in the world. Out of... Oh, God. Lots of people. I should have checked before I started scrolling, shouldn't I? Wow, that's a lot of people have played Warhammer. Here we go. 1,221 people have participated in Tournament Warhammer over the year so far. This is all the tournaments where you can get the data, basically. There's quite a lot of stuff on. Somebody asked me last week about Best Coast pairings, and why didn't I cover such and such an event? I think it's this one. I'll just show you. See, this is what happens. The organizer has either hidden the results or not pressed complete event. You need to close your event so that I can get the placings data. Or else I can't talk about it and cover it and promote your events in future, because, that's essentially what I'm doing. Anyway, so that's the last weekend's. This is the last, actually the first player ranking. Oh, good Lord. I didn't know that did that. Huh. That's cool. Anyway, I've just found out something else. It puts it in a new sheet. So if you double click on something, it puts it on a new sheet and gives you all the data relating to that player. Oh, that is pretty cool, isn't it? Oh, hold on a moment. I've just discovered Excel does something. Somebody's probably thinking, oh, how basic. But yeah, so if I click on Jack Allen, here we go. He gets his Empire results, his Club Morpheus Gaming. There we go. Let's correct that. Oh, no, he didn't do that though. I mean, if he did, I would have thought he did, but would have been the club. Yeah, that's his latest one. Yeah, or maybe he's fallen out and left the club. I don't know. Ooh, controversial. Maybe, I don't know. What are you talking about? Why are you sounding salacious, Dan? Such a douche thing to do. Right. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. Oh, don't get rid of that. Right. Okay. Delete that sheet. Yes, because it's just a thing. Well, that's cool. Yeah, so well done, Jack. But like I said, this will evolve over time, so expect to be top for not very long. I want to get this all sorted by the end of Q3, so I'm going to just take my time and make sure, But this is just a draft, just to show what we can do with the data. So anyway, but thanks for listening. I hope this has been helpful. Like, share, subscribe, and join me later when I shall be going over some lists in tournaments. But anyway, toodaloo.